Good. I had to reboot my computer, which always throws
Mm.
for some reason, the audio in Zoom never works. I have
Yeah.
to change mics and stuff. So anyhow, I'm here, but I haven't been able to get a replacement for myself yet. And for the rest of you, I have a work commitment out of town that week. So I can't participate in the summer recruiting event. And I haven't heard from anybody yet either to
Okay.
jump in and take my table.
Well, you've got more than a month to go before the event happens. So,
Right.
Right.
and if you're available, we're going to have an in-person meeting on June 25th. And we'll share additional details about Olliefest then. And so if you can find a person before the 25th and they can join us for that, that'd be awesome.
Sure. What if we leave on the 24th? We're going out
Okay.
of town for 5 days. So
Ah,
I guess I'll rely on Tracy.
Yes, you can
perfect.
do that.
This is the
Okay.
joy of
I'll
having
represent.
leaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We're
I
also,
guess share it's about 5 after now. Do you just want to go ahead and whoever pops in,
yeah.
um, they're not going to miss much. I know that most of you know who I am. I'm Michelle. I am your staff liaison for SIGS, and I am very, very happy to announce that, of course, Barbara and Cher have come back and taken over the leadership positions, and I can't be more grateful because I know how hard their jobs are. And you guys all need a lot of support. We're up to 1,200 members and we get calls every day about SIGs. And I'm trying to do my best to visit all of the SIGs and to see some of your members, talk to some of your members. And that has taken a long time. I've been here a year and a half and I think I've visited 5 maybe. So I'm trying. But now that we're fully staffed, and of course I have some time in the summer that we don't have courses every day and things like that. I'm going to try my best to come and visit and see what things are like so I can share with of course Jennifer and Joan and just let them know what what you guys offer and how much you do. And I can't tell you all thank you enough because yes, we're an educational foundation, but our shared interest groups really offer that connection to these members that they're looking for. I mean, some of them, not some, but a lot of members come just to join the shared interest groups. We know that. And we're glad we offer that. So I want you guys to know that I am here now supporting Cher and Barbara again and all of you. And Cher can tell you I am on top of it. I try to return emails by the end of the day. I try to return phone calls by the end of the day. I try to answer questions about SIGs or reach out to SIG leaders and let them know that somebody's having an issue trying to get in contact with them. Um, any way that I can support you here at the office, I try to do that. Okay, so Dennis is saying he's having issues. I don't,
So I don't have an issue, but I do want to just thank Sharon Barbara for coming back.
yes,
I was really happy to see that. I think we were all wondering what the effect of their leaving would be, but it's great to see you guys back in these roles because you're really good at them, and that you make
We
our
missed
lives a
you.
lot easier.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. No, the SIGs are really great. I was frozen for a while, so I don't know what I missed, but I think that the people who are active in the SIGs, that's the most important part of Ollie to them.
I think so. And
Yes.
I think
And
with the amount of members that we have and the amount of members that attend our SIG meetings, I think that we need as much support as we can get. And before Dennis caught my attention, I just wanted to let you know that I am here, and I will try to do my best to support you all. So one of my main things that I track is membership. And if you have somebody that's a guest, say Cher brings a guest twice to a SIG meeting, and you know that they haven't joined, you can contact me or note it on your membership sheet. You can scan and email those to me if you would like. And I will take on the role of contacting the person and saying, I see you're enjoying the poker SIG, and have you thought about membership? We love that you're coming as a guest, but to continue to come more than just a couple of times, we're going to request that that you create your membership. And that's, of course, our goal there. We love to have guests, but we can't offer guest passes to 1,200 people more than once or twice. Most of the time, if they're coming more than twice, they like it. And $72 a year is not usually going to break the bank. And I don't know if you guys know that yet, but our membership has gone up this year to 72. So that is a little good plug for that. We don't do large increases. We're going to do small increases, and that was one of the board's decision when we as we're going through the transfer. So
Can I just
okay,
go
Ms. Chair?
real quick on something? So back in the day, it used to be that SIG leaders were kind of responsible for pedal to the metal with people who came as guests who were not OLLI members who came to their SIG. And so this is a wonderful transition.
Yeah,
Now
it is
what we're doing
terrific.
is-
Yeah.
yeah, if you have someone who's coming to your SIG but is not an OLLI member, or you're not certain whether they're an OLLI member, please let Michelle know, and she will do the strong arming gently to invite people to go on ahead and join the group. So that's no longer something you have to be concerned with, which is wonderful because it's really hard as a peer
It is.
to strong arm someone like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? So
We had someone this spring, and it was like, what do we do? I mean, because the person was actively participating and actually wanted to be part of the library reading, the public library reading. And so it was difficult. And the other part was that we didn't have firm contact information for the individual because they hadn't officially joined OLLI. So then it was a scramble to try to find out who actually had the contact information to talk to with this person. So yes, thank you. This is great.
yeah, this is
So
awesome.
I just want to say, Mary, your fake eyebrows really made those points especially important just now.
Fake? They're fake?
No, I think you have your eyebrow feature on. You have two eyebrows, two sets of eyebrows.
Ah.
Your own and the one that Zoom puts on your head.
Oh, I don't see that.
No, I
think
don't
it's
either.
on your
Yeah.
screen,
I
Peter.
don't either. No,
Oh.
I think
I just have dark
Michelle, I think
circles above my
it'll be
eyes.
very much appreciated.
No, I think you got your eye. You can add like a funny hatton or whatever on
Really?
Zoom,
Very
and I think
good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm
We should
gonna
all do that for the
it.
next meeting. We should all like have a feature, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'll have to see.
I can't find more.
I
I
don't
know
know.
we're all gonna be looking for
I
that
hope
now.
I did that while I was at the university for meetings.
I know. So just the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about and share, we'll probably have more information about this. Unfortunately, we had to change the venue for the Ollie Fest. And so the Civic Center is renovating. And then right after they renovate, they are reserved for 2 solid weeks for the school system. And so we've had to take on a smaller space. It's beautiful, it's nice, great parking. We are going to have to be creative with our table setup and our display setup. So it is going to be at Watkinsville First United Methodist, which is right at a major intersection of Highway 441. And it's great visibility, easy to get to. You take the Watkinsville 4B exit, and it's at the 6th red light. But again, like I said, we're just going to have to be creative with our space. I think we've all agreed that it's going to be set up similar to the Boom Bash, if you guys went to that last year. And Wesley Woods has confirmed as of Friday that they're still going to be there, and they're going to set up the refreshments and handle that for us. And of course, Cher and Carolyn and myself and Tim walked the site last week, and we used measure tapes and all kinds of gizmos to make sure that everything is set up as well as possible. So, Cher, did you want to say anything about that? Because I know that SIGs are one of the main reasons that these guests come out and they want to talk to the SIG leaders and learn about our SIGs.
Yeah, so the theme this summer is going to be for this venue is going to be Let's Get Small. We have somewhat limited space. And so rather than having the expansive tables where you can put, everything that that represents your group as a display, you're going to need to be a little more selective. Interestingly, Gary, we have found a very clever way to display a kayak. They actually have like a media control center in the back of the room. And so it has an elevated platform, and we can cover that. So you can put the kayak on top of that. And that way it's off the ground. Everybody can see it. It's awesome.
Sounds
So,
good.
so we're making that concession for Gary. But everybody else who's got a table, you need to be thinking kind of smaller. And so there are some groups that have had, for example, like a poster board with photos. We're asking people to kind of like downsize that. And either if you want to do a photo album, that's cool. If you have a small laptop and you want to do, like a rolling kind of stream of photographs, that's fine. But we're wanting people to actually stand kind of behind their tables so that they've cleared the area so other people can mingle around. So just kind of think about that. You don't need to have a lot of display stuff on your table, but think about things that really represent you. So maybe, I don't know, Mary, like some of the memoir books that you might
Yeah.
have, something like that. And Tracy, and Peter, couple of plants, not the entire garden, but maybe a couple of plants. Nice. And Elizabeth, I know you've got the Socrates bust and the Socrates book. Awesome. So, and Laura, I'm not sure what all you want to do for genealogy, but a life size or a huge giant blown up model of DNA, maybe not so much. But so think about things like that. We're also going to have the same kind of signage. Awesome. Yes.
You can do a lot with a tablet and a
Yes.
slideshow kind of thing, and it's very, very portable. So we went from a big screen TV behind our tables at the last one to these, and I don't think it affected visibility at all, really.
No,
So
I think
So
that's an
share,
awesome way to go. And there are plenty of electrical outlets around the room. So one of the things that we'll probably do is ask you all if you need power in the form of an electrical outlet. and then we'll try to make sure that you're on the perimeter of the room as opposed to maybe at a table that's in the middle. Although I think they've got a couple of outlets that are actually in the floor, so that's a possibility. But you know, doing the tablet thing, awesome idea. The other thing is, depending on your tablet, if you've got battery power, you don't even need to plug in. So, you know, we've got some options there for sure.
Yeah,
Are
and
the
depending
tables,
on I just wanted to add that depending on the SIG, sometimes the most important thing is the person manning
Mhm.
the booth or personing booth is able to give an overview of what it's all about, and that is often more what the person will have specific questions, and that's often more to the point than the slideshow, which are great, and you know, especially Gary, the one yours is particularly, and the plant is particularly also, but others are much more just talk.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
how
I,
about,
Share
are the
how
tables,
large?
go ahead.
I love the creative ideas that you guys have. Like, you know, Cher's always wearing her coffee shirt and she has a big coffee mug. I was even thinking Laura could have this cute little bonsai tree and create like a little family tree out of it, you know, like with pictures. I mean, she we're definitely we've got a lot of options. I love the slideshow personally because I like pictures and I like to see action pictures, and that was one other thing that I have that I wanted to share with all of you. If you have pictures that you don't want to put in a slideshow and you don't want to present in a slideshow, like Peter, you're not going to be there, but I'm sure you have lots of pictures of your group. Send them to me, and I can add them to the overhead slideshow. When I say overhead, I'm dating myself, I know, because you know, back when I was in school, it was called an overhead projector. So we will have two big walls that have projectors that are, you know, like the ones in our classrooms, and they will be running the slideshow that we present just the entire time. And it will, you know, have everything from, of course, you guys taking classes, committee meetings, and active photos. And I personally, the marketing in me, which was my first degree, if you don't know me, I love to see those pictures that make somebody stop and say, what in the heck were they doing? You know, Okie Finoki, you know, what does Ollie go there? You know, what just to make people stop and say, what in the world? Um, those kind of pictures that you think I might not like, I probably do. So send them to me, and Tim and I, you know, work tirelessly on those presentations, you know, that we present at the annual meeting and then the Ollie Fest. And we constantly change those. So just please make sure if you guys don't have my email address, send them to the main mailbox, because we all check. I know y'all have heard me say this, but we all check that main mailbox, and we're also going to change that in July because Joan is going to have her own email address. With the transfer, she becomes a UGA employee. So if you know, if you need to connect with me on Ollicom, you can do that too.
How large are the tables going to be? Do we have a measurement size? Gary and I think are just on the same page with this. Like, is it 33 inches or is it 40 or that would be helpful if we.
We share.
You
Do
were
you want
thinking of
to?
6 foot tables, were you not?
Mm-hmm.
So similar to what a lot, we've used both 6 and 8 foot tables before,
Mm-hmm.
but you would be sharing the table with someone else. So basically you have 3 feet wide of
It'd
real
be
estate.
36
And
inches.
what we'll do is we'll try to pair people up so that if we have one group that has sort of like a lot of stuff maybe to display, maybe the partner at that table won't have quite as much, maybe. We'll work it around. And we'll send out a draft to you all so that you can kind of see. you can maybe contact the person who's going to be sharing a table with you and sort of talk about that ahead of time. Gary, go ahead.
Is there enough? So normally we bring 3 people per SIG. Is that too many for this one? You're probably just going to need one.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
probably right.
Sure.
I would have one person for sure, and then maybe have a backup in case that person can't make it for whatever reason. Because I think that's probably given the space constraints. Yeah.
Right.
Peter, go ahead.
Unless
Okay.
that person wanted to volunteer to just move around the room like that third person. We always need people to roam and answer questions, and then what do you call them, Cher?
Yeah, so rovers, and
And
I
an
think we'll
ambassador, yeah.
probably be figuring out how many rovers we need, and so we may in fact come back to you after you have identified your point person, and if we need some additional rovers, we may come back and ask you to find us another person.
Yeah, I'd love to have a rover with the life vest on and a whistle, and then another one with cameras.
Awesome.
That'd be great. I
Awesome.
love that
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, Peter, you had your hand up?
Okay, so just 2 things. This is really for Michelle. I put 2 different photo galleries from recent garden enthusiasts events, so you can pull them. I just sent them to you there, right?
Great. Okay.
So the other thing is, could you please pronounce your last name for us?
Horton Karakoff.
One
Horton
more time.
Karakoff. Horton
Karakoff.
Karakoff.
Okay. All right. Do you want both of them included or just the last one?
Included in my email?
Well, no, like if I were to say, and this is Michelle, what would follow that? 2 words or 1?
2. 2,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. That helps. And
So
so
you prefer to be
Karakoff?
hyphenated?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yep. Well, you've seen my name. No one can pronounce it. So
Spagorinsky?
Hello, Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hello. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but it's nice to see everybody here. So I will continue until a suitable juncture.
Michelle, what's the date of the Ollie Fest again?
July 17th.
Okay.
It's from 1 to 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the nice things about this particular venue is that we don't have any specific constraints about, gee, you can't go in early and set up. And so we'll provide you with more details about when you can set up as the date draws closer, but we don't have competition for the venue. So we can be a little bit more generous with setup time, so it's not like all last minute crunch.
Yes, and all the tables will be arranged with the chart that we give them. And the chairs will be in place. So that's not a concern either.
Okay. Would it be acceptable to maybe have 1 helium balloon so that the like on the table so that the rover could say, "Oh, yeah, we're over, look for the blue helium balloon," or something, and would that be okay?
I think that's a good idea as long as it doesn't get into your face-to-face contact.
Okay.
If it was tall, if it was high enough. I think
Right.
it's great. And
Okay.
there's what would you say, Cher? At least 18 feet ceilings. I mean, the room is very big. So
Okay.
it would accommodate,
Okay.
a 7-foot strand balloon.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some
Excellent.
chandeliers, but that might not be an issue. And of course, you can always, depending on the length of your cord, you can reel it in or whatever. So
I just thought that might,
that's a
be
great idea.
helpful to identify.
And we might want to talk a little bit about that because if everybody has a balloon, then it's going to be interesting.
Right.
So,
Maybe we can get a color, like each group can have their own color, and you can. Yes, Tracy.
And Tracy's got her hand up.
Yeah, go
So
ahead, Tracy.
in my past life as a marketing coordinator,
Right.
when we had fairs and things like that, some buildings don't allow helium balloons because they're a fire hazard
Yeah.
because of the lighting. Especially if they have chandeliers, if the balloons get loose, it might cause a fire. So I think we need to ask the church if that's something that we can allow, and then think about an alternative.
And
Uh,
also, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I'll just come up with an alternative that would be showy like a balloon, like to be able to be a marker.
Well, on the what I was going to say is on the other extreme, it's sometimes useful to know where things are, to point it out, and the person has to walk there so they are looking at what the other tables are. And, that also can be very helpful, and they might find out about something they didn't know about. Related to that, also, in the past, I know I've had requests for, can I have a list of all of the SIGs? So I think if not everyone will want one, but it might be very useful to have a list of the SIGs.
We do. I have updated that, and we use it now
Okay.
at festivals like Hot Corner. that's
Okay,
coming up.
great.
I'll be
Great.
glad to
Okay.
bring those.
All right. You
Yeah, I'll be
didn't the
glad.
last
Thank
time I
you.
was involved. That's great to know that's
Yeah, thank you for reminding me to bring them.
The last
Yeah.
time also, we actually created a floor plan with a
Mhm.
map, and it identified the different entities. So not only the SIGs, but also the sponsors and stuff. And I think the plan is to do that again. So that will let you know where you are, and will also let our
Yeah.
patrons
No,
know.
that's great. That's great.
That's a good idea. I think my concern was that when we had it, where did we have it? Like the VFW, is that where it was before the it was so crowded, it was so congested, I couldn't locate. This was before I was a co-leader. I couldn't locate. It was just so many people that I couldn't like make the rounds like we saw people doing when we had all that space at the Civic Center. So that's why I thought of the balloon idea, so that, if I was across the room and talking with someone about our SIG, I could say, oh, memoir writing, just look for that big, tall balloon, blue balloon. Yeah. Because
Well, they also have sound buffer panels. And I think Sharon, I mentioned that if we could just use sewing pins just to tack up, like you said, maybe it's just a colored sheet of paper, and then we can color code the map, that has poetry with blue and coffee with brown, and if those could be tacked up about 7 feet above your head, then we could do that. So I'll ask. I'm sure that one of those things will work. That Tracy, that was a great idea about the balloons. I haven't had that happen too often where venues have denied us having balloons. But again, so many of these venues have turned to balloon arches and things like that. We haven't really had to worry about it. And I was able to use balloons and balloon arches at the Civic Center in October for an event. So that's something that I will put on my list to start asking. But we'll figure it out. No worries. Sharon and I will definitely color code the map appropriately and figure that out. That shouldn't be a problem. Should be very
Yeah, we had color
That would be
coded it the
great.
last time, but also I'm thinking, Tracy, since you're also a representative of the marketing committee, I'm wondering if you might want to take that back to the committee and just, maybe talk about how we might, in addition to doing the map with the color coding, if they have any other suggestions about how to increase the visibility of some of the SIGs, absent having like a large kayak sitting on top of a platform.
Right.
That would be super, super helpful if you could maybe have them
I'll do that.
brainstorm about that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, well, if there's not any other questions about the venue and the space and our displays, then I will turn the floor over to Tim. Tim wanted to give us a little bit more information about what's going on with the transfer and things that might change a little bit with our volunteer paperwork. So I will turn the floor over to our wonderful director.
Yes, and this is really just a paperwork update, which kind of looking back on it is probably something we should have been more careful with in previous years. But as we move forward, UGA want to make sure that everybody who is volunteering for them is properly covered, which I'm sure is something that you want to make sure that you are also properly covered. And so hopefully at the June meeting, there'll just be a form to fill in with your details. I will do all of the back of house stuff to make sure that the memo is fine and all of that. But again, it's just to make sure that we're all covered going forward, which, as you think about it, is something that we should have been a little bit more conscious of. For those of you who do waivers, which I think is actually only Gary on this call, those waivers can continue as they are now. This is more to protect you guys, that you're doing things that are perfectly in line with our mission. I mean, much as we like the number of SIGs we have, I don't think we should have a crocodile wrestling SIG or a skydiving SIG.
Not yet.
The ones that we have at the moment fall very much within our mission. So basically, it's just a little paperwork to make sure that everybody knows what everybody is doing.
Okay,
Any,
thank you.
any questions about that?
So those documents will be available at the June 25th meeting for people to review and sign. Is that right?
That's my plan at the moment.
Awesome.
If these get moved, they'll only get moved. Hopefully, the latest would be before Olifest. And again, if everybody is in the same room for Olifest, that also makes it easy. Yes, Peter.
Yeah, since we're talking about something to put on our calendars, you're saying June 25th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What time and where?
10 o'clock, Rivers Crossing.
Okay.
It's going to be our in-person meeting. We typically hold a SIG leaders meeting twice a year, normally a couple of weeks before Olifest, so that we make sure that everybody's kind of on board, on the same page before Olifest happens. So that's the June 25th meeting.
Okay,
So-
and that's I'm sorry, that's at Rivers Crossing, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
10 a.m. Refreshments served.
Yes, Mary.
So Tim, if we are not going to be available for that face-to-face meeting, I'm out of town. Will you send me the
We can
forms?
send you the we can send you the paperwork. I think
Okay.
Cher is again and thank you to Cher and Barbara for stepping forward again. It was a brief hiatus, but we're always glad for people to be able to step forward, and they'll make sure that everything between them and Michelle will make sure that everything gets forwarded onto all of the leaders, because as I'm sure you're all aware, like OLLI members are busy, and actually trying to get all of them in one room at any one given time is hard enough. So I'm sure you won't be the only one if you're indisposed already on that date.
Right. You can just send me a digital copy, correct, Tim? Yeah, just scan it. And...
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
And Peter, did you have your hand up?
No. No, I got my question answered. I'm just kind of thinking, because I won't be able to make the July event. I'm just hoping someone steps up and maybe can come to the meeting with me or go instead of me or something. But that's my, the fact is I'm not going to be able to make the event. Um, I just have to work out what my role will be.
And Peter, if you can't find anybody, I mean, we can always have a small setup for you and interest sheets. I know that I think Tim might have an extra iPad, or we could have some kind of picture display. And I'm comfortable talking about some of the things that your SIG does. So, and I'm sure Tim is too. So we can cover you. Don't worry about that. Don't stress about that. But I think that you will probably have somebody step up within the next 5 weeks. But we will cover you if you don't.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. That all of our interest groups are very popular. So, like I said at the beginning of this meeting, I feel very comfortable taking questions and phone calls and in-person conversations over and talking about all of you and your meetings. I stay on Olicom a lot, and I really try to stay up on what you all are doing for our community, for our organization. So please know that I've got your back.
Thank you.
Well, Cher and Tim, if you don't have anything else, I think we're ready to say goodbye, and we'll see you later, June 25th, again, 10 o'clock. And if you want to come and mingle a little bit earlier than that, I have reserved the room for a little bit earlier than that. But as you heard Cher say, refreshments will not start until 10. So I have to explain that sometimes to some of our members. They like to come an hour early and that's great. But I just wanted to let you guys all know that those refreshments might not be available until 10. So is there anything else, any questions that we can answer? I usually don't have Tim available like this to answer questions. So please, if you have anything for him. He's very popular these days.
I have a quick question. Tim, Michelle was sharing with us that the dues are going to be increasing a bit for membership. Is that are you announcing that in an upcoming publication? Because I'm just thinking, if we're going out and sort of trying to help recruit and all that kind of stuff, I want to make sure that we're giving people accurate information. You're on mute.
Yes, it's now a little thing up in the top rather than like the band across. I missed the band across. So it was obviously announced at the annual meeting, and the renewal notice with the fee increase will be going out tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's going up by the grand total of $2. In line with the long range strategic plan, so it's going up to $72. So it's not. Hopefully, this will be within most people's comfort zone. So it's not like we've decided we're going to be the Olliott American and go up to $500.
Not this time, anyway.
No,
Okay.
Maybe next year.
And that'll be on the website as well.
Yes, that will be updated. I think it's scheduled to update tomorrow morning.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Great.
Okay, well, hello, Malcolm. We have recorded this meeting, so if you would like a copy of the recording, Malcolm, I can give it to you. But we're about to close the meeting, and we've opened up the floor for questions for Tim, if you have any, while he's available.
I actually have to go. I have something else I need to do. Thank you for all of your help, and Cher will be in touch.
Sure.
Okay.
And remember, I'm here to support you. So
okay, thank you. Yes,
call me and
that's
email
very
me if
much
you need.
appreciated.
No
Okay.
problem. It's my
Okay.
pleasure.
Bye now.
Well, I appreciate all of your valuable time today. I appreciate Tim and Cher, obviously, also helping me with this meeting. And I'm going to say it again. I'm here to support. So please let me know how I can do that, how I can do my job better every day. And I look forward to seeing you guys on June 25th and again on July 17th.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Bye.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye.